Thank you. I'll now recognize Mr. Balderson for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all for being here this morning. One of the, and Dr. Moore, thank you very much. Appreciate your time here, and it's always good to see constituents. And one of the issues that drives the skills gap we are seeing is the access to just basic broadband. We talk about broadband, but let's talk about basic broadband. As you all are certainly aware, if you lack access to the internet, in 2019, you're at a huge disadvantage in developing marketable skills. Of the 24 million Americans that do not have basic broadband internet access, 83% live in the rural communities. Could you each talk about what your organizations are doing to ensure rural communities have an equal opportunity to succeed? Dr. Moore, if you would start, please.
Well, first of all, thank you for the work that you do. And this is a very important topic. It's a part of our ethos at Ohio State because we're a land-grant university. And many of our extension programs work aggressively to ensure that opportunities are available to our rural constituents. In fact, all 88 counties in Ohio, they're guaranteed at least one full ride in every county in the state of Ohio. We provide a lot of outreach, but not only that, another example of it is, as you know, that the opiates crisis has plagued many of the rural areas in the state of Ohio. And Ohio State is providing leadership to address those issues. But we know some of it is a lack of opportunities. And that's probably one of the biggest cures, is to ensure that individuals have opportunities in those areas. But not only that, with our Access and Affordability Grant, it's ensuring that students won't foreclose on trying to come to Ohio State because they can't afford it. We're trying to make it even more affordable. So we have regional campus, we have the Columbus campus. On our regional campuses, we just recently started the Access Affordability. It's a lot cheaper on the regional campus, and plus we have these grant opportunities. So we want to make education accessible to our students.
Oh, go ahead. I'll just talk about our Navajo Nation project. We have 3 schools that we're partnering with just north of Phoenix, Arizona. We provide culturally sensitive curriculum. And we also, what we haven't talked about today a lot is the importance of a collective impact arrangement so that industry plus academia plus other companies can come together, because not one company can do it alone. So in the case of the Navajo Nation, we're partnering with Cisco, who actually helps to bring the broadband to those schools that we're partnering with, because we think that's also important.
So just to put a number to it, 1 in 6 of the nation's undergraduate students attend rural colleges and universities, and I think this is a group that goes under-discussed and underserved. I liked that you brought up the partnerships that exist between tribal colleges and universities and local business and industry as a way to serve those communities which are often located in rural areas. Another thing that we're doing at ACE is trying to shine a light on what are called education deserts. So these are places where educational access is limited in terms of higher education. There may be no options, there may be 1 or 2 options, and one of the 2 might be too expensive or out of reach for some of these students. In addition to broadband, I think we've discussed satellite campuses, also the ability for community colleges located in these areas to have dorms where students can live. It's not common to have dorms at community colleges, but many of these deserts have that as their offering, and some of these institutions have built residences. I'll say one more thing is the power of dual enrollment in these areas, and that's another role of community colleges, which is to provide dual enrollment for the high schools in the region, which allows those students to have a more promising path to go to the flagship in that state or a 4-year institution.
We fully recognize the power and the importance of technology now, and how it can actually provide access that wasn't possible before. And it isn't just to rural communities, actually to urban ones as well. We have poverty places everywhere. And I think that in our case, in the case of AAAS, what we have done in the past is always to try to not necessarily to design for the broadband. We try to design for the lowest, most ubiquitous technology that we can find. And that often means that you're doing things on phones because that's what people have. And I think that we need to look across the spectrum as we are really seeking the opportunities until we can get better.
Thank you all very much. And Dr. Moore, as you and I know, Beverly, Ohio, where the young lady is succeeding in getting her PhD, is from a very lack of rural area. So